It's Tuesday, so the vendors have all new stuff. Let's check it out, starting with the Scholarium. We have Bound Affix Script Courage, adds courage, a buff increasing weapon and spell damage. Bound Focus Script Taunt, adds a taunt. Bound Signature Script Fencer's Parry, adds deflection of next direct damage attack. Time to head over to Imperial City. Okay, we're here at the Telvar Merchant. First up, we have a Somerset treasure maps. I don't think I recommend these at 6,000 Telvar. They don't really give you any great leads or anything like that. But if you're curious, Somerset gives us Grace of Gloom, Griffin's Ferocity, and Wisdom of Vanus. Our scripts, we have Bound Affix Script Brittle, adds Brittle, a debuff increasing critical damage taken. Bound Affix Script Expedition, adds Expedition, a buff increasing movement speed. Bound Focus Script Multi-Target, adds a multi-target hit. And Bound Signature Script Assassin's Misery, adds improved use of status effects. Next, we have Fragment of the Exarch. This is one of 5 pieces of the Silverbolt's Vibrant Yellow skill style. This one comes from the World Boss in Blackreach Greymore Caverns Feeding Grounds. It is here for 5,000 Telvar if you need it. I don't think a lot of people do that World Boss much anymore, so... but remember, it is a guaranteed drop, so if you are capable of doing the World Boss or can grab a friend to go help you, it's probably better just to go kill the World Boss. Next up, our leads. We have Coral Plating. This is part of Thracian Stranglers and comes from saltwater fishing in Artaeum, which is all the fishing in Artaeum. Anything that gets me out of fishing, it's probably a good thing. The first lead for this dropped for me fairly quickly. I have not been able to get another one, so I am tempted by this one since I am trying to get codex for all of my mythics. Next, Sturdy Silver Prongs. This one we saw about a month ago in Infinite Archive. If you missed it, it's here this week. This is part of Death Dealer's Feat and comes from the final boss of Dragonstar Arena. So it's going to take a while to even have a chance to get the drop. It takes about 45 minutes to run DSA on normal, maybe a little bit less. There's a lot of talking. And it's not going to drop every time. You might have to do it dozens of times. So I'm not hating this one at all. Not hating this one. And then our jewelry this week, we have Leckies and Black Rose. These both used to be popular in PvP, but I don't think they've been run for years. But they're here if you need them for sticker book. All right, let's head over to Infinite Archive. And our third and final vendor is Filer Wool in Infinite Archive. First up, we have Archival Treasure Maps. This one is from Eastmarch. I'm not going to recommend this at 2,000 Archival Fortunes, but if you're curious, Eastmarch brings us Akaviri Dragonguard, Fjord's Legacy, and Stendar's Embrace, as well as a chance for a lead for Ancestral Nord, Legs, or Shields. Our first pattern this week is Blueprint Dawnwood Chest Antlers. This is a very handsome chest. However, it's only selling for about 22,000 to 28,000 on PCNA. I'm excited just because I don't have this one yet, but it's not that expensive at vendors. 2,000 Archival Fortunes isn't much though, so if you have fortunes to spend and haven't found this one yet, it is here for you. Next up, there are scripts. We have Bound Affix Script Brutality and Sorcery, adds Brutality and Sorcery, buffs increasing weapon and spell damage. Bound Affix Script Uncertainty, adds Uncertainty, a debuff reducing weapon critical damage. Bound Focus Script Pull, adds a pull. Bound Signature Script War Mage's Defense, adds a damage shield. Next up, we have our style page Swarm Mother Mask. I'm pretty much always going to recommend masks. This one drops out of Spindle Clutch 1. The hard mode is pretty simple as far as hard modes go, being a early base game dungeon. However, the drop rate is still pretty atrocious, and the window for the drop is also atrocious. So unless you have quite a bit of time to farm this in the 4-day period when it drops, I still think getting it for 15,000 Archival Fortunes isn't awful. Cartographer's Boots. These sell for about 2,300 to 2,900 gold at traders. Compared to 3,000 Archival Fortunes, I don't know that this is really worth it. You can also farm these in the Blackreach Greymore Caverns public dungeon, Nechuthenkarst. but it is here for 3,000 archival fortunes if you need it to complete your Master Field Cartographer costume. Next up, companion equipment jewelry. I don't usually recommend companion equipment, but jewelry is a minor exception. Because you don't have to worry about light, medium, or heavy weights, you're more likely to be able to use whatever trait it gives you. So out of the companion equipment options, this one's one of the better ones. Next up, we have Heroes Almalexia deck fragment. This is one of 5 pieces of the Almalexia deck for Tales of Tribute. This particular one is found after defeating bosses inside Gorn and the Underweave public dungeons in Telvanni Peninsula and Apocrypha. You probably already have it, but if you don't, it's here for 3,000 archival fortunes. Next up, we have our leads. Buoyant Steel is part of Thracian Stranglers. We had another part over in Imperial City. This particular one also drops from fishing, this time fishing in Stras Mackay. So if you want to avoid fishing this week, there are 2 leads for Thracian Stranglers that both require fishing. This one you can pick up for 5,000 archival fortunes. And next up is Dark Seducer Cameo. This is part of the Saint and the Seducer mythic. This one drops in Vile Man's Public Dungeon on Reaper's March. I got excited at first when I saw this one, but this one drops off the boss, Sergeant Attilas. I was really hoping it was going to be the treasure chest one that just does not like to drop. But it's not. It's the one off the boss. I don't think that one was particularly difficult to get. Next up, we have Malographic Ichor. Consume 50 Malographic Ichors to unlock the Ichor Most Malevolent Achievement and the Malographic Mount. This is the first drop you get guaranteed when you complete the dailies. 50 Malographic Ichors times 10,000 archival fortunes is kind of ridiculous. Let's be honest. It would take you a long time to farm enough to just buy these. Do your dailies. This one comes first. After 50 dailies, you'll have your mount. That is a lot. I know. And if you want to buy the last couple, more power to you. But it is a guaranteed drop if you do your dailies. Next up, we have our books. Now, a point of interest here. I mentioned last week that these seem to be repeating in a pattern. I have been tracking these since I started doing these videos like last March of 2024. And I had missed the pattern at first, but I was able to predict not only these 2 books, but also the Cartographer boots. So Mouth Vabdru's Journal, which drops an infinite archive and requires the eidetic memory from the quest in Apocrypha, Spirit of Fate, which is the main quest line. We actually didn't think there was a pattern at first because a lot of these books have repeated just 2 weeks after. So it seemed completely random. If you're going to create a database that repeats once you've run out of books, why would you have some of the books repeat 2 weeks later, right? But here we are. They are repeating. So we are going to be able to predict what books are coming. Because those are in a pattern, I'm thinking other things are going to start repeating too. Some categories are going to be a little bit more difficult. For instance, we're not seeing Tales of Tribute deck fragments every week now. We're sometimes seeing skill style fragments. So as they keep adding to different loot tables, that repeating pattern is going to be a little bit more difficult. But I do think we're going to start seeing more patterns besides just the books. It doesn't really make sense for them to repeat books and runebox fragments, but nothing else. If we can start predicting leads, that would be fantastic. Anyway, enough about that. Next up, we have Praxis Orcish Table Grand. This one only has 4 listings. It runs about 40,000 to 185,000 on PCNA. I got a little bit excited about that, so I looked it up on PCEU, but there's 6 listings on PCEU running from about 22 to 31,000. Not fantastic, but 2,000 archival fortunes is not that expensive. So next up, Praxis Redoran Amphora Sealed Marble. 3 listings on PCNA ranging from 25 to 45,000. Not terrible, but not great either. But again, 2,000 archival fortunes. This is still a great way to fill in the gaps. These patterns have been out for years and years and years. So if you don't have it, I would probably still just grab it here from the vendor. And then, of course, our last book, The Journal of Emperor Leovic. This one drops out of Scrivener's Hall and the eidetic memory is from a quest in Grotwood called The Emperor's Secret. Now, with eidetic memory, you can read these books in somebody else's house. On PCNA and EU, if you go to my house, I have all of the books. They're not super organized yet. I'm working on that, but I do have all the books if you want to read them before you come and buy them. Makes it a little bit easier than having to run through and get all the books in the wild. I am listed in house tours under Spantifical's Guild Hall. All right, we're going to run a couple Arcs of Infinite Archive and see what gear is dropping this week. We just finished running a couple Arcs of Infinite Archive, and this week we have gear dropping from the Rift. That includes Draugr's Heritage, Witchman Armor, and Yskamor's Birthright, as well as from Gold Coast, which includes Flanking Strategist, Hide of Morehouse, and Sithis' Touch. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one. No. I was so close. I love how the pets come in first. If the pets hadn't come in first, we would have been safe. I did break the game. I'm pretty good at that. All new stuff at the vendors. Let's check it out. First up, bound signature script. Oh, that is not the first one. Hold on. There's none. Why are there none? Why are there none? It is 11 after. Okay, I guess we'll come back to this guy and see if he has anything for us later. I know people in the comments are going to be like, it takes you 45 minutes to do... Yeah, whatever. Right? Somebody's going to say it.